Motivation is something many of us try to find in everything we do. It gives us reasons for doing the things that we do and do not want to do, and helps us to push forward every day. In large doses, however, motivation can be taken to an extreme, a point many refer to as an obsession, and that is probably what can best describe my relationship with my passion towards music. It has helped define me as a person and has helped me to meet some very cool people, but I want to tell you about how I became disillusioned in my perception of music and how, in the end, it was music that cured this disillusion. The closest time I can pinpoint in which music took on a different meaning in my life began at the end of freshman year. I've played guitar since the age of 9 and piano since the age of 10, but nothing gave me a bigger dose of motivation than receiving a small paper book in the mail from Berklee College of Music. You probably do not know much about music schools, but Berklee is one of the crown jewels. Its specialty is described as a contemporary music school, and it is located in Boston, Massachusetts. Their prestigious list of alumni include the likes of Steve Vai, Al Di Meola, John Petrucci, John Mayer, and many other very famous musicians. Collectively, their alumni have won over 250 Grammy Awards. One could make the comparison that this is the Harvard of music schools, so getting any sort of attention from them in any way was a big deal for me. In a way, it made me feel important as a musician to feel like I was getting noticed by such a well-known school. But if I knew anything, it was that I would have to be a lot better if I wanted to go to a school like Berklee. At the time, I was maybe squeaking out an hour of guitar practice a day and knew this would be a laughable amount in comparison to what kids at Berklee were practicing. The bottom line was I needed to change my game plan, and that is exactly what I did going into the summer of sophomore year. I got organized and I began to push myself to points I had never been before. 2 and 3 hour practice days became normal in the summer, and I began to find reason to be motivated to practice. I felt like I had a goal, and there was nothing that could stand in my way of accomplishing that goal. That is how I went into and spent much of my sophomore year. This determined state of mind carried into the summer going into junior year, and when I began to look more seriously at schools after St. Thomas, Berklee was still at the top. However, I discovered a huge problem when looking more closely into the school. That was the price tag that came along with it. As much as I wanted to study music, I did not have 50 grand a year to spend on a degree. This is where I became sort of disillusioned about what I was doing. I ramped up my practice schedule with the idea that I could get a big scholarship. I fixed my eyes on a goal so large that it was basically unattainable. I blocked out everything else to focus on my goal, but as junior year came to an end, I started to accept my overall fate. The truth was that Berklee was impossible. There was no realistic way I could make it work because without any financial help from my family, I could not rack up over $200,000 of debt and call it a smart plan. I felt somewhat defeated going into the summer of senior year. A goal I had sacrificed so much of my time and sleep to get was essentially gone. I was sad when I thought about it, but in reality there was so much more I had to be happy for. The truth was that in all of those hours I had spent practicing in my room on Friday and Saturday nights had meant something. I found something in those hours that people spend their entire lives looking for. I made a connection with music and I found out who I was. I learned that I am much more hardworking than I realized, and I learned that discipline is the most essential aspect in striving for any goal. Going forward, I set another goal for myself. My goal was simply to listen to more music. The most important thing that I learned was that it does not take playing an instrument to connect with yourself through music. It does not take hours in a practice room or a certificate from a college board to develop a bond with music, but most importantly, that the music you listen to creates the person you become. I encourage all of you to take 30 minutes to an hour out of your day and just listen. Not listening to music while you're doing your homework or preparing for your day, but take time to listen to the music you love in contemplation. Discover what the music really means, and I promise that in turn, you will discover who you really are. The best definition I have heard of music comes from one of my musical heroes, John Mayer. He says, "The best music transcends your playlist or your CD and moves into a different place in your life where it just becomes your companion. It does something a little bit more than just makes you sing along. It hopefully places you somewhere in your life in a time that you will always remember." In the end, I still have an amazing opportunity to go to one of, if not the best jazz schools in the country, at the University of North Texas on a partial scholarship, but that does not change what my dream was. I learned that sometimes things don't work out. It's up to you to pick yourself up, dust yourself off when things don't go according to plan. Find friends who will accept you and support you for who you are and will back you in whatever you do. But most importantly, don't look back and regret, but see everything as a new opportunity, and things will always have a way of working themselves out.
And
I'm now going to play a song that many of you have probably heard me play before, but it was the first song that I ever learned that made me feel proud to be a guitarist, and more importantly, proud to be a musician. So I hope you enjoy, and my amp went out, so just give me a sec to adjust this, but I hope you enjoy.